This is Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNNLive. We're on location at the William E. Hanna Jr. Innovation Center at Shady Grove in Rockville, Maryland. With me is Gary Sandman, the president and CEO of Signature Supplements, LLC, a private company. Welcome to SNNLive.
Thanks for having me here. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure to have you. Let's get right into Signature Supplements.
Sure.
Tell me what the company does and tell the audience.
Well, the company is 5 years old. And my background in nutritional supplementation is probably about 30, 40 years long. And what we've been able to do through a team of very brilliant scientists, doctors, nutritionists, is create a proprietary system of testing that we can determine your unique nutritional levels. So it's not like a dipstick where it is like a dipstick where we're trying to find all the levels of vitamin C, magnesium, etc., the essential nutrients that we need every day. That's what we're literally measuring. And from that measurement, we can determine what to add or subtract from a formulated multivitamin.
Wow. I like this. So how does the dipstick work?
Well, it's taken 30 years of research, primarily through Drs. Walsh, Dr. Pfeiffer, Dr. Gant, Dr. Smith, that have all looked at the cascading effect of an imbalance of a chemical in your body. So let's say, for instance, that your copper-zinc is out of ratio. You could have temper tantrums from that excess copper. You could have acne as a child from that or a teenager. So what we were able to do is look at over 2.4 data points, taking blood, hair, urine, saliva from everybody, looking at medical histories, looking at their symptom analysis. And with all of that data, the data speaks to us. We don't speak to it. And from that, we were able to discern that if you, say, another example, get tired at 3 in the afternoon, go for that cup of coffee or sugar or something to stimulate you, we know from our data that you have an imbalance from your glucose. So instead of having to go through all those tests, we go into our data bank and say, geez, anyone who had those symptoms, when we go back to our test work, we see that they all had the same biochemical imbalance. So we don't need to take the blood test. We don't need to take all of that. We have the data so that from this, just going at the symptoms on a computer-generated program, we're able to determine what is your biochemical imbalance. And then from that, we build our multivitamin.
So what kind of a market is there for this?
Well, it's huge. We've got over $250 billion is spent every year just on people who are tired, people who have pre-diabetes, people with acne and skin issues, behavior disorders, learning disabilities, ADD, ADH. We look at some of our clients are doctors in the holistic medical field, in the plastic surgery field, in the alternative medicine. We look at spas, at gyms. We're meeting with the Army and the military.
You know what you remind me of? This is going to sound a little off the wall. No, not quite.
Good, because he's passed on.
But he lived a long time.
He lived a long time.
But the reality is that I remember when they first had the full MRI, the full body MRIs. You sound similar to that, except you're biochemical.
Biochemical, yes, that's correct. Yes.
So share with me. How long does it take? How much does it cost? How is it done? What's the procedure? What is an outpatient? Give me the rundown.
It's web-based, so it's a 15-minute test that basically medical questions we're going to ask you. Then your answer comes back within 5 minutes from our computer program. Then what were the other questions?
No. I mean, because you said, you do the dipstick. So, do I have to give you a piece of my hair? What goes on?
We used to, when we were starting out, the doctors it was about $3,000 to $4,000 worth of blood, urine, hair analysis. But because our data bank is so large and we were able to use it now as a prime mover of our knowledge, it's now on a computer, and that's all you see is you're going to type in a score of questions and answers that pertain to your symptoms, because that's what we want to find out. What are your symptoms? And then if we find a group of those symptoms that are working together to innovate or create a problem with your biochemistry, then we know, okay, we don't need a blood test. Your symptoms are speaking louder than your blood.
So this is a little bit of WebMD thrown in.
Well, to some extent, yes. What we look at though is a little differently. We look at it more holistic, and also we look at it from a point of view of wellness. And wellness is that used to be that soft concept of here's a brochure on smoking and here's one on weight gain, and that was all wellness was about. Well, it's basically looking at our lifestyle and saying what you eat affects you just as much as what you exercise or don't. What how you eat affects you. We've seen that when people take our tests that a green leafy salad, would you say that would be a nice start for a healthy lunch?
Yeah.
There's some people that are allergic to the folic acid in the greens. And we've seen kids that have a high learning disability that fell asleep in their salad. Literally, they just plunked, and their body just had more than enough, and didn't. And if you added more to it, that's when their body started to react that way. So we knew immediately that we needed to remove folic acid from their formula as well as from their foods.
How does Signature make money?
Well, what we do is work an affiliate agreement with a doctor's office where they'll promote this to their patients if they feel that it's appropriate. And our bottom baseline is that we deal with what's called essential nutrients. Most folks will just think essential is just another word to put in front of nutrients, but it's a scientific term that tells us that there are 33 essential nutrients that your body has to have every day. And what I mean every day is that if you miss one of these nutrients, vitamin A, vitamin B, D, E, magnesium, phosphate, etc., the minerals, amino acids, if you miss just one of those, you lose up to 6 billion cells every day. So what we're trying what we've seen now is a repetitiveness of not having enough of those nutrients starts to slowly develop what seems to be an association to chronic illness.
So if I wanted to do this,
yes,
I just go to your website. It's free of charge.
www.signaturesupplements.com.
Signaturesupplements.com.
Yep.
You got that, folks?
Yep. And it's a free test because we want everybody to know, am I in balance or not? The things that we think are illness are not illnesses. They are literal biochemical imbalances. If we think of our body as, let's say, General Motors plant, if you've ever seen it, it's like a mile long, and raw material comes in the front, rubber, plastic, glass, etc., and then the back end comes out a car. Well, a lot of people, there's a car that comes out the back, but it doesn't have tires on the rim. It doesn't have glass in the windshield, but you can still drive it. Not as well. It still performs, and you think about people saying, "Well, I've always had that cough. I've always had that back pain. I've always had the acne. I've always had that anger." The truth is that the imbalance is what's caused that, and we can now recognize that and then put that in its right position because our body now will react to the food.
What's your background?
I was being trained to be a psychologist back in University of Sonoma State back in California. And my doctor friends got me in the hall one day and says, "Gary, we want you to be our business manager." And I said, "No, I'm here to be a therapist. That's why we want you to run our company." No, you don't understand. I like people. That's why we want you to run the country. No, I don't like numbers and figures. That's why we... And everything I said, I dug the hole deeper until finally I had 15 clients at the end of the day. I was their agent, manager. I was with from scientist to a Rolling Thunder, a medicine man from the Cherokee tribe, and it was from that gave me the ideas of being in the background, because you need to. There is a business of healthcare, and no one likes to talk about that, but that's the truth of how we're going to move this down the road.
So, Gary, why Maryland?
Well, I was born here in Washington, D.C. on George Washington's birthday, so I had to stay, or actually come back, because I spent my graduate work was in California. I really love California. I was there for 25 years, and then I came back here. So half my life is California, half my life is Washington, D.C.
Well, you're here in Rockville, so these folks, these folks pretty good. So
Yes.
You know what they're doing for small companies.
I could not be where I am today if without them. I swear to you, those people who have ever had any type of exchange with the government, you leave kind of sour. It's not usually pleasant. You meet these folks, they're ready to walk you down to meet the banker, the lawyer you need, the accountant, the CFO, the education programs, what government agency works, who to talk to there. And I thought they were making the money as well, because they were spending all their time on me. And it was just amazing to see the kind of backup and forward thinking, because they've been done there, and they're sharing that with us.
So that's a good commercial for Maryland, let me tell you.
Come on down.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Gary Sohn, signaturesupplements.com.
Yes.
It's the LLC. We are at the William E. Hanna Jr. Innovation Center at Shady Grove in Rockville, Maryland. And this is Shelley Craft on SNN Live, thanking Gary for coming on to SNN Live.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very,
My
very
pleasure.
much.